Hello and welcome to Fusion Fundamentals with me, MJ. In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at this cool kit. So this is by a local company in South Africa called Techtoast. I reached out to them and said, hey, I'd like to do a collaboration, maybe make a video using some of your components or one of your kits. So they were kind enough to send me that kit. I'll leave a link down in the description to their website. They've got a bunch of other products that are really cool, fantastic if you're trying to learn electronics. But yeah, it was a lot of fun doing this project. Before we go further, I just want to remind you that if you enjoy my content, there's a link in the description with a coupon code to a Udemy course that I've created. So there's a lot of content on there that is not in my YouTube channel or not uploaded on YouTube. Get you designing in no time. From the very basics to sort of an intermediate level, go check that out. But back to our crane, as you can see in the background there, I've got my little crane set up. We'll run through the setup and putting together of it. I'll make the files available through Techtoast if you would like to make your own crane. That would include the STLs for 3D printing as well as the code. Now, a fun fact about the code, I'm pretty useless at coding. So what I do is I use ChatGPT. What I did with this particular project is, if you look on the inside of the lid here, I'll show you in the camera now, we've got a component list. So it highlights every component that's in the kit. What I did was I took a photo of that and I uploaded it to ChatGPT and I said, hey, these are the components I have. Give me some ideas for projects. So it gave me a couple ideas and I settled on the crane. And the crane turned out to be quite a fun little design. And then I said, can you do the code for me? I would like the x-axis of the joystick to move the crane left to right, and then the y to go up and down. And that's exactly what it did. It did all the coding for me. All I had to do was open Arduino IDE and code my Arduino. So that was a lot of fun. We're going to have a quick look at the CAD modeling of it and then what we got once we printed it out. So let's get into it. Look at our crane. This is what the finished product looks like. What I did to get to this point was first I created the servo and stepper motor. So if we turn everything else off, I just modeled this servo and the stepper motor and then carried on from there. What I did was create this base. So this is where our crane's gonna be mounted onto. Got that hole over there that the crane passes through. There's our crane, the main upright, and as you can see there's a hole in it. You'll see now when we assemble where everything goes. So if I turn off the base, you can see it's a hole for that shaft. There's the extension of the crane. We've got these little loops to feed our string through, so hopefully that works. I've just assembled it and it seemed to work all right, but there's a few changes I could make. At the bottom here we've got this, I call it a gear, but really we're going to have some sort of I've got some TPU that I'm going to run from this servo horn, wrap around there, and that will hopefully give us the kind of motion that we want. And we've got the stepper gear, basically just a little circle with a hole through it so we can tie our string, and then that'll run up through our crane. And the servo holder, I made this so it can slot into the base. So if we have a look here, the base, there's a slot over there. Let's just have a section view. As we move back, you can see, okay, that's not really helpful at all. Let's do a section view from another angle. There we go. We can see it's kind of cutting in there. We got that sort of dovetail join over there. So it slots in there. It's really tight because obviously there's zero tolerance. All I did was create this and then extrude up. First extrude to cut this hole, second extrude to create the to create the dovetail on the servo. If we turn the base off here, one thing I forgot to do is on this servo holder, I should have left a little spot over there for the wires to fit through. So I'll adjust that in the drawing process at a later stage. I'll make these files available. I'll probably share them with Techtoast, and Techtoast can add them to their project bundles. But I just need to update that to have a little groove over there. You'll see when we put it together. And then once that's all together, we've got the crane, the base, get our servo in place, and the hook. This, I just did a little circle on the plane there, and I did a fillet to round it off. And then for the hook part, we did a sweep path, and then I just tapered the edge there with a chamfer tool. Then the joystick, this I just kind of made the space for the joystick base, and then I did this little cover, but I messed up the dimensions, so you'll see in the video when we're doing it, we don't actually use this cover. I kind of just use that portion. I try to double-sided tape the Arduino Uno onto there. It didn't work great, but it works a bit. But you'll see now, as we get into the video of us assembling it, we've got a cool little crane. So let's get into the assembly. So we've got our code. I've now sent that through to our Arduino Uno. I'll sort out the wiring diagram, we'll go through that just now. And we've got our joystick. So now we can see if I push up, my stepper motor is rotating, and that will roll up the coil. Push forward, and then drop it down. And then we've got right and left, and that rotates our servo. So that's hopefully going to control our crane quite nicely. So let's get to assembling our crane. I've got this base over here. We've got this hopefully going to fit the servo motor in. I forgot to leave a gap for the wire, so I'm going to have to just cut something in there. I'll sort that out just now off camera. We've got that in there, and then we've got these pieces. This should just slot in over there, and there, that there. I can't have them quite touching, but so I've got the crane, got this little part on. I'll put it on backwards, shove it. So this one's come out. That's better. Now we're going to thread that on there. Let's get our thread. So for this portion underneath here, I've got this is a TPU filament. And let's see, I'm going to have to make these holes a bit bigger. I'm going to make them bigger and come back. So our crane is working, left to right is fine. Only problem that I have with it is that the stepper motor is a bit slow, but otherwise it functions. You can see here as we go down, it takes quite a while to go down, but I found out afterwards I can change the code to have an acceleration curve based on the position of the joystick. So I will change that code with the code that I make available. Hope you guys all enjoyed the video. It was a lot of fun making the crane. And again, shout out to Techtoast for sponsoring that kit. It was really cool. Again, go check in the description for a link to Techtoast. Until next time, bye.